One of the biggest problems facing international agriculture is the lack of food production and deserted land that has been taken out of production due to overuse and soil degradation. Restoring this land and incorporating a vegetative cover has many benefits, including carbon sequestration from the atmosphere, improving soil health, increasing food production, and economic gain. There are 3 major types of abandoned land that have the potential to be revegetated, including farmland, mineland, and deforested land. This video will address the most desirable and productive system to reduce carbon emissions for abandoned farmland. Worldwide, there is an estimated 1 billion acres of deserted farmland, with the majority of loss occurring in Europe, Asia, and sub-Saharan Africa. There are many reasons for abandoning farmland, such as immigration into cities, which accounts for most of the land loss in Europe and Asia, and overuse of land, which is more prevalent in Africa. Despite the reason behind land abandonment, it is important to bring the land back into production to fulfill the goals of feeding the growing population and reducing greenhouse gas accumulation. In order to understand what crops will perform best on degraded land, it is important to understand the challenges facing production. The most immediate concern is the erodibility of the soil due to years of abandonment. Revegetating this land will help to fix the topsoil layer, which is the most microbiologically active. Restoring this layer will help to improve overall soil health over time. Another consideration is the soil structure and nutrient availability. Depending on the previous use and care of the land, compaction may be an issue. If plowing was utilized, there may be a hard layer of compaction below the reach of the plow called the plow pan that prevents water infiltration and nutrient uptake. If the land was under no-tilling conservation, the land may have compaction from lack of disturbance. Either way, incorporating reduced tillage into a system is beneficial. Reduced tillage is the use of less invasive tilling equipment that disturbs the soil but does not destroy it. Abandoned soil also likely has low nutrient availability or nutrient toxicity in some cases. It is important to restore these nutrients while limiting the inputs needed. The last major issue is the lack of available resources such as water, equipment, labor, fertilizers, and pesticides in areas where farmland is often abandoned. Therefore, the system put into place should be fairly self-sustaining. Taking these factors into consideration, one viable system would be a native perennial legume species and cover crop rotation incorporated into a 4-year no-till system with conservation tillage performed on the 5th year. A native species ensures that the environment is suitable for the crop and can maintain the species long-term. Incorporating a perennial crop into the system reduces the amount of inputs needed because the crop can grow for many years without replanting and has fewer applicant needs. Legumes have the ability to fix nitrogen into the soil due to their symbiotic association with rhizobium. This also reduces the need for nutrient inputs, which helps increase long-term stability. Adding a cover crop to the rotation helps to provide a ground cover during the off-season and typically aids in breaking up soil compaction, adding carbon and organic matter into the soil, and fixing nutrients into the soil. Finally, no-till helps to maintain soil structure but can also lead to compaction, especially in degradation-prone soils. Therefore, incorporating reduced tillage every 5th year helps to break up that compaction without harming the topsoil and organic matter. Not only does this system provide ground cover in areas where land was previously barren, but it also adds value to the land. Perennial legumes can be used as forages for animals, or they can be harvested and sold to provide economic gain to the landowner. This would help to provide income for smallholder farmers and also increase the availability of food. Overall, putting abandoned farmland back into production has many benefits for the landowner, the environment, and the economy. The estimated impact of restoring 424 million acres of the 1 billion worldwide includes a sequestration of 14.1 gigatons of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, the return of $1.3 trillion on an investment of $72 billion, and can produce 9.5 billion tons of food. This shows that farmland restoration is an important mitigation tactic for climate change and has a worldwide effect on food security and environmental health.